Sometimes you just gotta accept reality for what it is and just keep it real with yourself. Rejection is always a form of protection for a new redirection.
Girl, you pretty without makeup. Yeah. You know you pretty without makeup. Ma, you pretty without makeup. Mama, you pretty without makeup. These hoes can't fuck with you. These hoes can't fuck with you. These hoes can't fuck.
Sometimes we'll force our way through things even if it was not supposed to happen. Like, you gotta be honest with yourself. You might want to fit in with a certain group. Sometimes you might want to get a certain job. Sometimes you might want to date a specific person, but that person rejected you. Sometimes we chase after the wrong things, and when we try to get through the other side, the door is locked. That's God saying no. That's God saying that He didn't want that for you. And let's be honest, when something is blocked out, it doesn't mean that greatness is not supposed to happen. When something is blocked out, that means that something better is supposed to come. That means that God was trying to redirect you to a better route instead of that route, because that route was not for you. The best thing that you could do when you get rejected is just smile and just let things be. It's cool, because that's life redirecting you to a new area of your life. Rejection is also a form of protection to protect you from that outcome of what was going to happen to you. So that's why you just gotta smile and just be grateful that that happened in the first place. Maybe you was not meant to be there at that time. Maybe you was not meant to be friends with those people. Maybe you was not meant to be in that specific relationship. You just gotta look at the outcome and just be like, okay, cool. I'm glad this happened because better is coming. The beauty with rejection is that you being rejected was God's way of telling you no. Simply no. Because He didn't want you to go through that. He didn't want you to experience the lesson behind it. He didn't want you to face the drama that it came with. That same drama, that same lesson was meant for somebody else to learn from, not you. He said, I got something better for you. It was something else made for you, and it was specifically not that. That's why when something does not work out, when something does not go our way, you just gotta look at it and smile, because there's nothing else you could do. You just gotta smile and just move on from it. Going through life, the main lesson learned is that when you go through things, you just gotta understand what's meant for me will always be for me, and what's not meant for me will not be for me. Our main problem as humans is that we try to force our way through a lot of things. We try to make a lot of things meant for us, and that's not how it's supposed to be. Like, if something does not work out, it's cool to just look at it and just move on. Like, instead of it, a lot of people just be like, why me? Why did I have to go through this? Why do I have to feel this pain? I don't understand why I was chosen for this. You weren't chosen for it, but you forced your way through it. So sometimes, like, if something gets blocked out, it's because that was not the right door for you. You tried to open the wrong door, and clearly that door wasn't open. It was sealed. It was completely locked. You can't force your way through a door that's not opening. You don't have the key for that door. So the door that you do have the key for, and once you open it, it's gonna open all the way. It's not gonna be halfway or anything like that. Nothing sealed, nothing, because it was meant for you. Regardless, it should be unlocked if it was your door in the first place. And the harsh truth about reality is that you're gonna keep getting rejected until what's meant for you actually accepts you. Whether that's you being friends with somebody, whether that's you dating somebody, whether that's you getting a specific job, you know what I'm saying? Because it's yours at the end of the day, and it was supposed to be yours. So it's gonna accept you, but if it was not for you, it's not gonna accept you. It's gonna reject you until your time comes. And even when you do get accepted in certain circumstances, you gotta still question and ask yourself, is this the right place to be? Are these the right people to surround myself with? Is this the right relationship? Like, you still gotta have these questions well prepped and prepared for you to know the answer to. Because a lot of times, we still force our way through the door anyways. So that's why you still gotta question it. It's like, a lot of times, if something doesn't work out, we crash out. We get so upset that we be like, oh, we gotta make it work. We gotta find a way. Even if that door is all the way sealed, locked. we'll find a way to kick it open. We'll find a way to, try to break through it, like something. We're gonna figure out something to make it happen. Like, don't get it twisted for saying that you're not putting in enough work. You're still doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're still applying pressure. You're still putting in enough work. You just gotta understand, if something is not working out, then it's okay to be cool with it and just let life redirect you. Redirect you to something greater, something better, something that actually makes sense. And a lot of people don't be cool with like just allowing life to redirect them. And the thing is, you might want to be friends with somebody because they're in a certain friend group and you want to be cool, you want to be involved with that same friend group. But baby, let me tell you right now, not everything that you see on the outside is good on the inside. That friend group that you was trying your way to get in, that friend group was probably not meant for you. You keep trying to open the door, you keep trying to like be around these people, and these people are not going to add on to your life. They're gonna poison your life, which means they're gonna take out from your life. So that blockage right there was just a way of life telling you like, hey, like I have a better friend group for you. If you were just patient enough, maybe you would have gotten that friend group. But we just be wanting to be cool. We just be wanting to get involved. Sometimes we just can't be alone, and that's okay to not wanting to be alone. But sometimes you just gotta face it. Sometimes you just gotta be alone, because being alone is just the best option. What you see on the outside isn't all beautiful in the inside. What's beautiful on the inside sometimes don't look good on the outside. And that's why you just gotta pay close attention. You just gotta like let what's for you be yours. Hypothetically speaking, let's say you did get into that friend group, right? You get into that friend group and you see everybody is talking down on each other. You see that nobody's elevating each other. You see that they're not really like trying to be a solid friend group that's gonna actually go somewhere. Nobody is pushing each other. Nobody wants to see the next person bloom into the most beautiful flower they could be, or nobody wants to see that next person be the best version of themselves. So you ask yourself these questions. How do you want your life to progress? How do you want your life to operate? Do you want to live a forced lifestyle, or do you want to live a soft lifestyle, which means you let things come to you naturally and you just let them bloom, growth? Or do you want a forced lifestyle where you're chasing all the butterflies in the garden? Like, you gotta ask yourself, which one do you prefer? Soft or forced? I don't know about y'all, but I can't go after something and expect for me to catch it if I wasn't ready to catch it. Sometimes you just gotta sit back and just let things be for you instead of chasing it. When you chase something and you think you could catch it, you just slip and fall. And you slip and fall because you weren't paying attention to all the red flags, all of the signs. All the signs were in front of you, but you still kept going after it. You ever walk on a wet floor that had a wet floor sign and you ignored it, but you slipped and fall because you ignored the red floor sign? The same thing goes with life. When you keep trying to chase after something and you ignore the red flags will teach you a lesson, because the red flags was basically telling you to wait, pause, listen. This is not for you. Warning. Please don't come approach. That's what the red flag was telling you, but you kept ignoring the signs. And that is the true importance of self-improvement. The true importance of self-improvement is you allowing things to be how they're supposed to be. You letting things naturally happen. You attracting and not chasing. Because a lot of times we'll force friendships, we'll force opportunities, we'll try to force interactions with people who clearly don't want to talk to us. You could tell when a conversation is forced, but you can also tell when somebody's really trying to engage with you. When somebody is really trying to engage with you, you can tell like the vibe is different. You guys could talk about a lot of things. You guys are laughing. You guys are, sharing energy. Like, it's just different. The vibe is just there. Instead of forcing something, there's nothing to talk about. Like, the energy doesn't feel the same. Once you self-improve and you become that best version of yourself, a lot of people are going to make their way to you. A lot of people are going to come after you. A lot of people are going to want to interact with you because you've been focusing on yourself. You're self-improving yourself. And self-improvement is not for the weak, Self-improvement takes time. And that's what perfection does to you. It takes time as well to perfect something. Being the best version of yourself is the best that there is. And there's no other beauty than that. People are going to also try to understand you, They're gonna try to understand what you got going on in your life. What makes you you? How did you become this person? Once you bloom into that beautiful flower that you're supposed to be, you're gonna attract all the butterflies in the garden. All of the butterflies are gonna wanna come to you because you're so beautiful. And the same thing goes for attracting people, attracting opportunities, attracting the right groups. It's really just that simple. It's really that easy, like literally that easy. You get to have two options. You could be the chaser, or you can also be the person who attracts. If you're the one who attracts, then you sit, wait until your time comes. But also, if you're the one who chases, then you gotta understand, not everything is gonna work out. If you want to go after something and the door is locked, don't force your way in. That rejection is your protection. And that means you're gonna be rerouted to a better opportunity. And it is very important for you to know this. Very important. Because if you don't understand what rejection is, you're gonna view life differently. But if you understand that rejection is your protection, you're going to live differently. Because you're gonna understand that you were at the wrong place at the wrong time, and this wasn't for you at this time frame. And if it wasn't for you at this time frame, then you're gonna be redirected to something that is for you at this time frame. Or even if it's not now, it's soon to come. You gotta understand, the ones who are doing the accepting, the ones who are attracting, they gotta also understand that they're the ones who are allowing things to come into their life. Or rejecting, you know? Because you're the one who gets to choose. When you work so hard to becoming this best version of yourself, people are gonna try to come into your life. People are gonna wanna engage with you. But guess what? You get to allow if you want them in your life or not. You get to allow if you wanna engage with them or not. You get to choose. Because you took all that time to get there. And it was hard to get there. You took more than enough time to prep yourself, the patience, all of those hard nights, everything that you had to face to get there. So that's why you get to do the accepting. You get to ask yourself, if I accept this person right now, what would this person bring into my life? What would this person add on to my life? Is this person for me? Will this person be a good match for me? Will this work out? Would this be a good decision to make? You get to ask yourself that. In this lifestyle, everything that happens in your life all has to do with your decisions, your choices, the efforts, your consistency, how you treat others, how you treat yourself, what you choose to accept, what you choose to tolerate, your discipline. No one's gonna sit there and give you a handout. No one's gonna do all that work for you. No one's gonna feel bad for you if you choose not to do something. When something doesn't work out, you can't be mad about it. You can't feel bad for yourself. The only option that there is to face it and just keep going, because better things are on the way. And I promise y'all, when y'all look at life like that, I promise you, you are gonna be the best version of yourself. Because it literally takes the way your mind is developed for you to understand how to go about the next thing that comes to you. In this life, you're not gonna always get a yes. Every time a yes. Every time you want something to work out, it's gonna be yes. Not everything is gonna work out for your good because you want it to work out. Not everything is just gonna go your way. In this life, it's gonna be a lot of no's, a lot of rejections, a lot of no's more than yeses. And once you understand that it's gonna be a lot more no's than yeses, then you have to train yourself to understand that you gotta keep going. You just can't stop right there. It's really up to you to be okay with it. It's really up to you to be understanding of it. All right, cool. That rejection was for my protection. This was a part of the process. This was a part of the journey. This had to happen so that I can figure out another way. You just gotta ask yourself, what will my next move be? How will I go about it? That was a part of the process for me to get to where I need to reach. I needed that to happen so that I can get to where I need to be today. I needed that so all of the pieces can fall into place. I needed this in order for this to take place in my life. And even though you don't know what is going to take place, that's why you needed that to happen, because you don't know what's going to take place, but you know that something better will take place. That's why that had to happen. But even though you don't know what's going to happen next, If you continue to hold down your faith and just choose to let things fall into place, then you will see soon why it had to happen to you. You will see soon why you kept getting rejection. You will see soon why things didn't work out. You will see soon why you had to go through that heartbreak. You will see soon why you don't fit in with a lot of people. You will see soon why nobody understands you. You will see soon. And if you agree with what I'm saying in the comments, comment down below. Because this is all facts right here. All right? That had to happen, all right? I just need y'all to understand. Like, I want to know if y'all following me right now. I hope y'all following me. And that's why it's important to follow your heart, follow your desires, to have faith, lock in with God, lock in with your dreams, lock in with yourself. The most important thing, lock in with yourself. Stay focused. That's why that's so important. Because in this life right here, we don't know what's happening next. We don't know what tomorrow looks like. We don't know what next week looks like. We don't know what next year looks like. We don't know at all. But what you do know is your decisions. That's what you know. We don't understand the answer to something, but we do know how to plan something. So even though you don't have an answer, you gotta know what plan you're gonna have next time. You have a plan for how you're gonna start something, how you're gonna structure something, what time you're gonna get up the next day, how you're gonna set up something. You have a plan for everything in your life. But even though I did plan all this stuff, I planned this event, I plan to spend time with my family, I plan to start some work tomorrow, I plan to do this, I plan to do that. Even though we have the ability to plan for tomorrow something else can happen. Tomorrow your phone might stop working. Tomorrow you might lose somebody. Tomorrow your car might break down. Tomorrow you might get some tragic news about something that happened. Tomorrow a hurricane might come. You know what I'm saying? Something is bound to happen tomorrow and you don't have the answers to it, but you have a plan for it. That is just the importance of understanding rejection. Understanding that even though you don't have all the answers, even though you don't know what may happen tomorrow, I'm still gonna trust the process. I'm still gonna have faith. You don't know when anything's gonna pay off for you, but some way, somehow, one day, it'll eventually happen. It could happen on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It could happen any time of the day, anytime. You don't know when it's gonna pay off. But you just gotta have that faith. You just gotta trust the process. You just gotta be okay with not knowing the answers. Be okay with what you're doing at the current moment. Enjoy the process. Laugh, have fun, cherish it. You just gotta really just understand, like, this is just how life is. Anything that I plan in this life, you just gotta know, I don't know exactly what's gonna happen next, but I can't fail to give up on myself. I cannot give up on myself. You just gotta keep going. Show up so you can show out. You gotta give it your all best, because nothing comes out right without putting your all best. Do you ever just plan something and put in your all best for it to be ruined, for it to just not come out right? No, right? So that's just anything that you do. You put in your all best. Because I know for a fact, whether that's anything I do, I put 100% of me into it. That reward is coming. That's why what's about to happen to you next is going to be super shocking, because you kept putting in your all best. You didn't have all the answers. You didn't know what tomorrow was going to look like. You didn't know what next week might look like. You don't know what was going to be next, but you just kept showing up. You just kept putting in your all best. You just kept having faith. And that's why you're about to get treated. All of those goals that you have, those dreams that you have, everything is about to come true because you gave it your all best. You did not care about rejection at all. You didn't care about that. You didn't let that fear hold you back because you just had no other option. You can't let fear hold you back. You were not put in no position to let fear take over, because you knew that if you were too scared, then it was never going to happen at all. You just knew that that fear would hold you back from reaching your goals, your dreams, your desires, that vision. You just knew that it would stop you from all of that. One thing I'm going to let y'all know is that fear is the number one thing that will literally cloud up your mind because you already don't know what to expect. You already don't know what tomorrow looks like. You already don't know what is capable of happening, and that's the scariest thing to have, fear. Because by you not knowing what's gonna happen, that's why you should have some sense of encouragement, some sense of hope. Like, I don't know how it's gonna come off, but I know it's gonna be a great thing. Fear will literally make you have a cloudy life, and nobody wants to have a cloudy life, trust me. When you live with fear, it will just hold you back from everything. Best believe that you will not make no move until you feel like you're secure, until you feel comfortable with making that decision. And that's why you just gotta have faith. You just gotta have that hope. Walk by faith and not by sight. When you're walking on the sidewalk, down the road, you don't know where you're going to, you don't know where you're headed to, but you're walking in that one direction. So eventually, when you get to the other side, then you'll see where you reach to. You'll see what happens next once you make it to the other side. That's the same thing with going up the stairs. You don't know what the next step will take you, but you're just trusting that the next step will be the best step. Even though you don't know what that next step might be, you still gotta have some sort of like plan, some sort of like vision to understand that I know how I want it to come out, but I'm gonna plan it out. I'm gonna do it like this so that it can come out like this. While you're visualizing, while you're dreaming about something, you have the solid plan in your head to know like, okay, I want it to be structured this way. I want it to come out like this. You knowing at least how you want it is how it's gonna end up being, because you can only get the life that you tell your mind that you want. So when you tell your mind that you're gonna make $1 million, you're eventually gonna make $1 million because you told your mind that. So it's bound to happen. So whatever that you create in your mind is what your reality turns out to be, because you're already like installing that in your mind. You're already installing that in your head that, hey, like this is bound to happen to me, but you plan for it so that it could really happen. So you just gotta ask yourself, so while you're having faith and while you're not knowing where your next step may take you, where exactly do you have time to be fearful? Where exactly do you have time to worry? Where exactly do you have time to give up or tell yourself that it cannot work? Where exactly do you have that time to do that? But even though you are progressing and you're doing all of these things, you have to do it while you're worried. You have to do it while you're scared. You have to do it without understanding. You got to do it without nobody being there with you. You got to do it with faith. At the end of the day, you don't have nobody reaching their hand out to you to pull you to the other side. You don't got nobody doing that. What you have is yourself, and that's all you have is yourself. So when you hold your own self accountable to what you want to do, it comes out like that. Being fearful or worried about anything or being scared about anything, all of that is just an emotion. It's a feeling. Like I said in my previous videos, that's why you have to always train yourself to feel good. So even if your day did not start off right, you have to make yourself feel good. So if your day was bad, turn it into something good. Start doing things that will make you feel happy, you know. Try to do things that will actually take your mind off of what was making you feel scared, worried, or fearful. You have to do things to take away that emotion, because your emotion is based on what you do at the present moment, what you do to treat yourself, what you do to feel at that moment, at that time, at that exact time. What are you doing to feed into that emotion so that it could change? You got to apply that pressure to yourself, because being scared is nothing but a feeling. It's okay to feel scared or worried or anxious about anything, but what you cannot do is let it control you. You cannot let yourself being scared stop you from doing what you need to do, holding you back from being great. Because why am I letting my fear hold me back from being great? Why am I letting my fear hold me back from making my next decision when that decision could clearly change my life? Why would I be afraid? Why would I let that control me? Like, for example, if you know the answer in class, you're afraid to raise your hand because of that fear. That fear is holding you back. Even though you knew the answer, you studied for that test a night ago. How are you going to let your fear hold you back? Or for example, you're in a car with somebody and they ask you how to get somewhere and you're afraid to tell them where to go, so you turn on the GPS. But you knew the answers, you knew how to get there, but you just failed to believe in yourself. You just failed to believe that, oh, you're going to make that right, you're going to make that left. Then you're going to make another right, and then the destination is right there. You were afraid to do that. And why is that? Because of fear. You let your fear control you. Fear can literally make you miss opportunities. Why would you want to miss an opportunity because of how you feel? You don't know when that next opportunity will come. That's why you just can't be afraid. That's why you just can't let your fear hold you back from making that next decision. Because if you knew the answer, you would have been did it. It's so many different opportunities. It's so many different doors. A lot of people are afraid to go after the opportunity. You know why? Because they're scared. They got fear in them. They're fearful. They're afraid that if they do make the next step, people might laugh at them. People might look at them differently. People might feel discouraged by what they did. Like, really, the thing is, it's really a mindset thing. People are afraid to believe in themselves. You missing out on the opportunity is giving somebody else the chance to gain that opportunity because you want to miss out. You were too scared to do it. And you got no time to feel like that. You got no time to waste. You got no time to be afraid. No time at all. Because the clock is only ticking. So if I have time to worry, I have time to miss out. There's a lot of levels to life that you're supposed to be reaching, but you're not reaching these points. You're not hitting these checkpoints because you're afraid. So you're trying to stay at entry level. You're trying to be accepted where you're comfortable. But God does not want that for you. God had better for your life. God had better plans for you to evolve. So he's going to redirect you from all of that. Because you need to understand your worth, but you're failing to understand your worth because you're scared. You're scared, and that's why you don't know your worth. Do you know that? Do you know that you're destined for greatness? Do you know that you're meant to leave a legacy? Do you know that you're meant to be rich and successful? Do you know that you're destined to be honored and respected by others? Do you know that you're destined to be a leader? You are destined for more out of this life. You're not destined to settle where you are now. You're destined for more, but you're comfortable. You fail to realize your potential because you want to stay at entry level. You want to settle for less. You want to settle for what makes you feel comfortable. You want to settle for friends who are going to accept you for where you're at. And you're mad because these people are not celebrating you. You're mad at them. You're mad because, oh, I don't have friends who are pushing me. Because you're settling for the entry level. You're settling for being comfortable. That was never your destination. You was not even supposed to be there in the first place. You were supposed to be somewhere else. So you need to redirect yourself. You are meant for greatness. You are not meant to settle for less or settle for where you are. You need to look for your purpose, find your purpose, and stop letting fear hold you back. It's a lot of great opportunities out here. It's a lot of places to be right now. But if you are afraid to unlock your own potential, you will never get there. No one's going to tell you nothing until you remove yourself from that comfort zone. No one's going to clap for you until you move out of that comfort zone. No one's going to understand you until you remove yourself from that comfort zone. It's all on you, it's all on your choices, and it's all on your decisions. I wish you the best. But this will be the end of the video. If you are new to my channel, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. It's your girl Nini, and I am out the building, and we are gone. Thank you.